Maya was beside her, limp but breathing faintly. No, 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 please God. I called the ambulance, my hands shaking so hard I dropped the phone twice. At the hospital, Clarissa was pale but alive. Maya was in critical condition. When the doctors finally stabilized them, Clarissa gripped my hand, eyes swollen and terrified.
It was them, the cops. They said we made them lose everything. One of them stabbed me, said Maya should have kept her mouth shut.
I used to think that evil wore masks, that it hid behind dark alleys and closed doors. But in my neighborhood, evil wore badges and smiled for cameras. I'm Raymond, a mechanic. Grease, sweat, and engines were my life. I had a wife, Clarissa, and a teenage daughter, Maya, who lit up every corner of our home. We lived in a small two-bedroom house off Lambert Street, a place where you could smell trouble before you saw it. Rumors about the local cops, Officers Harlan and Deeks, had been circulating for years. People said they protected the rich kids, took bribes from dealers, planted drugs when they didn't get their cut. But who was gonna call them out? They were the law. Until my daughter did.
Dad, you won't believe what I just recorded.
She burst into the garage one Friday evening, phone in hand, backpack swinging like she'd just won a race. What is it, baby girl? Another cat video?
No, Dad, this is serious. I saw those two cops, Harlan and Deeks, behind the old warehouse. They were beating up some kid. He looked like a high schooler, and they were forcing him to hand over cash. I think they're shaking him down.
My wrench nearly slipped. You're sure?
I recorded the whole thing. Look.
She showed me the footage. My stomach turned. Harlan's face filled the screen, eyes bloodshot, rage dripping from every movement. Deeks had the kid by the neck, slamming him against a patrol car. Maya, you have to be careful. If they find out...
Dad, people need to see this. They can't keep getting away with it.
She posted it online that night. By morning, it had 2 million views. By noon, local news stations were calling. By evening, both officers were suspended pending investigation. I should have been proud. But deep down, I knew they wouldn't let it go. A week later, Clarissa came home trembling.
Ray, someone's been following me. A black sedan? I saw the same car outside Maya's school.
I felt a chill run through my spine. I reported it. Guess who handled the case? No one. 2 days after that, the story hit national headlines. The cops' wives left them. Harlan's divorce papers became public gossip. Deeks got evicted. And then came the threats. The first one was a note slipped under our door. Your daughter ruined our lives. We'll ruin yours. The second was a dead pigeon on the hood of my car. The third was the night I almost lost everything. It was a Thursday. I was working late, fixing an old Chevy. Clarissa called around 8:30.
Don't stay too long, Ray. Dinner's getting cold.
I'll be home soon, promise. Kiss Maya for me. By the time I finished, it was close to 10. The garage radio mumbled some old blues, but I swear I heard something, like a scream carried by the wind. When I reached home, the front door was half open. Clarissa? Maya? No answer. I pushed the door wider. Blood. So much blood. On the walls, on the floor. Clarissa lay in the hallway, trying to crawl toward the phone. Maya was beside her, limp but breathing faintly. No, 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 please God. I called the ambulance, my hands shaking so hard I dropped the phone twice. At the hospital, Clarissa was pale but alive. Maya was in critical condition. When the doctors finally stabilized them, Clarissa gripped my hand, eyes swollen and terrified.
It was them, the cops. They said we made them lose everything. One of them stabbed me, said Maya should have kept her mouth shut.
I froze. The world around me disappeared. All I could hear was the sound of my own heartbeat turning into thunder. That night, I called my brother, Jax. Jax wasn't like me. I fixed cars. He fixed problems. Dangerous problems. He ran with a biker crew called the Iron Vultures. You didn't mess with them unless you wanted to vanish. He showed up an hour later, tattoos, leather jacket, eyes cold. 3 bikers trailed behind him. Who did this, Ray? Ex-cops, Harlan and Deeks. He didn't even blink. Say less. He turned to his men. Rico, Tank, Moss, you heard him. We find these bastards. I tried to stop him, but he grabbed my shoulders. You've always been the good one, little brother. Let me handle the dirt. And that's how it began. For 2 days, they hunted. Through the gang networks, crooked dealers, and back alley whispers. The city had a way of talking if you knew how to listen. By the third night, Rico called. We got one. Deeks tried to skip town, packed with cash and fake IDs. Guess he didn't make it to the bus. Jax's bike roared like thunder when they left. I didn't follow. I stayed at the hospital, holding Maya's hand as machines beeped around her. But I knew something irreversible was happening that night. When Jax came back, his hand smelled like gasoline and smoke. They won't hurt anyone again. What did you do? He sat down, his voice low, deliberate. We found Deeks first, tied him up. Harlan came looking for him later. We brought them both to the old steel mill, locked them inside metal barrels. Tank played a game of Russian roulette with them. 1 bullet, 6 chances. Every click made him cry like babies. He looked at his hands. We didn't kill him quick. We made him remember what they did to Maya, what they did to Clarissa. I didn't ask for details. I didn't want them. But part of me felt something dark and satisfying twist inside. Was it wrong? Probably. Did I care? Not one bit. 2 days later, police found the barrels near the docks. Inside were 2 ex-cops, barely alive, beaten, with messages carved into their skin. You don't protect the people. The people protect themselves. The case went cold. No witnesses, no evidence. Just karma with fingerprints. Weeks passed. Clarissa recovered faster than doctors expected, though she still woke up screaming sometimes. Maya was a fighter. She came out of her coma one sunny morning, pale but smiling. When Jax and his crew came to visit, they brought flowers and balloons.
Uncle Jax, did the police catch the men who hurt us?
The room went silent. Sweetheart, I don't trust the police, so we took care of it ourselves.
What do you mean?
Don't worry about it, kiddo. You just get better. You're safe now. Maya looked at him, then at me.
Dad, did they really?
I nodded slowly. Some people only understand pain when they feel it themselves. She smiled faintly. Then I guess justice doesn't always wear a badge. We laughed, though there was a sadness in that laughter that would never leave us. Months later, life found a strange kind of peace again. Maya returned to school, homeschooled now, and Clarissa started painting again to cope with the trauma. As for Jax and his crew, they rode off one night, leaving behind a small box on my workbench. Inside was a flash drive. When I plugged it in, a video played. It was the warehouse, Harlan and Deeks tied to chairs, crying. Rico spinning the revolver. Click, click, bang. No deaths, just terror, enough to make them beg for mercy. Then Jax's voice on the recording. Ray, this one's for you. They learned the hard way that some scars don't fade, and some brothers don't forgive. I deleted the file, then crushed the drive with my wrench. Some things are better buried. One night, months later, a letter arrived. No return address. Inside, a single line written in shaky handwriting. We know what you did. I stared at it for a long time. Clarissa came up behind me, wrapped her arms around my waist.
You think it's them?
Maybe. Or someone trying to scare us.
Are you scared?
I looked at Maya, laughing at some cartoon in the living room, her scars barely visible under her hair. Not anymore. Weeks passed. The rumors started again. People whispered about the revenge barrels, about the ghost bikers who hunted dirty cops. They said no one ever found the gun. They said someone was cleaning the city from the shadows. Maybe that was true. Maybe it wasn't. All I know is, every time I hear a motorcycle engine echo through the night, I smile. Because I know my brother's still out there, making sure no other little girl ends up bleeding on her own floor. And if you ask me whether revenge is right or wrong, I'll tell you this. When justice fails, revenge wears the badge for a while.
Dad, you know if I ever post another video like that, you'll go full John Wick again, right?
Nah, I'm retired. But your Uncle Jax? He's still accepting contracts, payment in whiskey? She laughed so hard she nearly spilled her smoothie. And for the first time in years, the sound of her laughter didn't make me flinch. It made me proud. Because she wasn't just my daughter. She was the girl who brought down corruption with a phone and survived the storm that followed. So yeah, if you ever see a biker gang with black vests that say Iron Vultures, maybe nod respectfully. Don't ask questions. And if you're watching this story thinking, wow, that was wild, then do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and remember, sometimes karma rides a Harley.
You're right. She's ungrateful and irritating, always sulking. I wonder how we brought such a child with her dirty skin into our lives.
The next morning, they called me to the dining room.
You're old enough now, Maya. It's time for you to leave our house.
We've done enough for you by taking care of you for over a decade. We have our own child now who matches our skin color. You're like a stain to us now, so you're not needed anymore.
I was 15. I had no money, no family, no home. I cried and begged them. Please, I'll be better. I'll do anything. Don't make me go. I'll paint my skin white. I'll hide from everyone if you want me to. Please, don't send me away.
You don't get it, do you? Whatever you do doesn't matter. We want you out of our lives. You don't belong here.
They handed me a trash bag with my clothes. A trash bag, like I was garbage. I begged until my throat burned, but Mrs. Wilson pushed me out without any mercy. I stood on their porch, not knowing what to do or where to go. I slept in alleys, curled up behind dumpsters to block the wind. My stomach growled so loud it kept me awake. I was 4 when the Wilsons took me in. I was a little black girl with tight braids and a heart full of trust. They were white, wealthy, and childless. Mrs. Wilson knelt down and called me her daughter on the day they adopted me. They said I was their gift, their chance to be a real family, and I believed them. I didn't know what love was supposed to feel like, but their kind smiles felt close enough. For 2 years, life was good. Mrs. Wilson braided my hair every morning. She learned how to take care of my hair type. Mr. Wilson taught me to ride a bike, running beside me, cheering when I pedaled without falling. They took me to church, dressed me in beautiful dresses, and showed me off to their friends. Our Maya, they'd say with pride, and I'd beam, feeling like I belonged. I was their daughter. Then everything changed. I was 6 when Mrs. Wilson's belly started to swell. She glowed, and her hands were always resting on her stomach, whispering to the baby inside. They called the baby a miracle. When Emily was born, she was so beautiful with her perfect blue eyes. She looked so much like her parents. At first, nothing changed. I was still treated kindly. But soon what I feared began to happen. As Emily grew up, so did the Wilsons distance themselves from me. Mrs. Wilson even stopped braiding my hair.
You're old enough to do it yourself. Stop waiting for me.
Mr. Wilson didn't have time for bike rides anymore. He was too busy building a crib, painting Emily's room pink. Emily got new toys, shiny clothes, a bigger bed with fluffy pillows. By the time I was 10, I wasn't their daughter anymore. I had become their servant.
Maya, clean the kitchen. Don't just stand there staring like you don't see the mess.
I scrubbed floors while Emily played with her dolls. I washed dishes while she got bedtime stories. I wasn't allowed to play. I became a full-time maid.
You should be grateful we took you in. Nobody wanted a girl like you.
Mr. Wilson was worse. He didn't yell. He didn't scold. He just stopped acting like I existed. By 12, I was invisible. Emily was their princess and their everything. She got piano lessons, dance classes, new dresses every month, each one prettier than the last. I got chores. If I forgot to fold the laundry, Mrs. Wilson slapped my hands wearing rings to make it hurt me more. If I broke a plate, she locked me in my room and rained insults on me.
You're clumsy and useless. Can't you do anything right?
I tried to be perfect. I kept the house spotless, cooked dinner, and stayed quiet as a shadow. But nothing was enough. Emily could spill juice on the carpet and they'd laugh, calling it cute. If I spilled water, I would get screamed at. When I was 15, they decided I was too much. I overheard them one night.
She doesn't fit, Helen. Emily's our future. Maya's a burden.
You're right. She's ungrateful and irritating, always sulking. I wonder how we brought such a child with her dirty skin into our lives.
The next morning, they called me to the dining room.
You're old enough now, Maya. It's time for you to leave our house.
We've done enough for you by taking care of you for over a decade. We have our own child now who matches our skin color. You're like a stain to us now, so you're not needed anymore.
I was 15. I had no money, no family, no home. I cried and begged them. Please, I'll be better. I'll do anything. Don't make me go. I'll paint my skin white. I'll hide from everyone if you want me to. Please, don't send me away.
You don't get it, do you? Whatever you do doesn't matter. We want you out of our lives. You don't belong here.
They handed me a trash bag with my clothes. A trash bag, like I was garbage. I begged until my throat burned, but Mrs. Wilson pushed me out without any mercy. I stood on their porch, not knowing what to do or where to go. I slept in alleys, curled up behind dumpsters to block the wind. My stomach growled so loud it kept me awake. I stole bread from a bakery once because I couldn't bear the hunger anymore. I hated myself for it, but I was starving. One night, after I'd spent over 2 weeks living on the streets, I was soaked to the bones by the heavy rain. I was shivering under a bridge, my teeth chattering, my fingers numb, when I saw headlights pointing to me. Then a car stopped, and a woman got out. She looked so kind, but also looked worried.
Sweetheart, what are you doing here? It's too dangerous and cold to be out here alone. You can't stay here. You'll freeze. Come with us.
She told me her name was Mrs. Carter. Her husband, Mr. Carter, was in the car. Their 3 kids, Sarah, Ben, and Lucy, peeking out the windows. They were all white and made me remember the Wilsons. I had no choice but to follow her, but I braced myself for more pain. However, the Carters were different. They took me to their home and gave me a hot shower, a plate of steaming food, and a bed with soft blankets. I slept like never before that night. Their kids didn't stare at my skin or whisper behind my back. They hugged me, called me their sister, and shared their toys like I'd always been there.
Maya, you're our family now. We don't care about your skin color. We care about you.
I cried so much that night. The Carters changed everything. They enrolled me in school, bought me books, sat with me at the kitchen table to help with homework. They didn't force me to clean. They never hit me. I was treated with so much love. When I told them I loved cooking, they immediately grew interested.
You've got a gift, Maya. Let's make it grow.
They paid for a cooking academy. I cried so much when they told me. I put all my attention into cooking. The Carters were always ready to taste and rate every new recipe I tried to recreate. They encouraged me. After I graduated from the cooking academy, their eldest kid, Sarah, helped me get a job at one of her friends' restaurants as a head chef. I worked so hard and saved as much money as I could get. 2 years later, I was able to start my own restaurant. It wasn't so big, but I was proud of myself, and the Carters were proud of me too. By age 27, I was a known chef. My restaurant, Maya's Kitchen, was so popular in the city. People waited hours for a table. My dishes were in magazines, my face on TV, my name on every food critic's lips. I'd built an empire from nothing, from the ashes of the life the Wilsons tried to destroy. Every plate I served was proof that I was more than what they threw away. I got a house Mr. and Mrs. Carter cars. Their kids and I were all successful, so we made sure they lived in comfort. One afternoon, I was in the kitchen when one of my waitresses came to me.
Miss Maya, there's 2 people out front. They're begging for food. They look rough and dirty. We've told them to leave, but they keep begging and refusing to leave.
When I went out to check, I found the 2 figures standing near the door. Their clothes were filthy, their hair matted and gray. They were thin and looked like they hadn't eaten in days. I recognized them immediately when I saw their faces. It was Mr. and Mrs. Wilson. They didn't recognize me.
Please, miss, just some bread. We haven't eaten in days. Help us, please.
Anything. We're starving. We will appreciate anything. Please, miss.
I felt so angry as I remembered how they kicked me out and how I was mistreated. You don't know who I am, do you? They squinted their eyes and looked at me properly. Mrs. Wilson recognized me first. Her mouth fell open, her hand flying to her chest. Mr. Wilson's face went pale, like he'd seen a ghost.
Maya, is that you?
How did you...
How did I survive? After you threw me out? After you left me to die? Look at me now. Look at this place. I built this. Me. The girl you said was nothing. What about Emily? Your perfect daughter. Where's she now? Why are you both begging for food instead of being taken care of by your precious daughter?
Well, unfortunately, Emily's a mess. She got out of hand and started living a wayward life. I guess we spoiled her too much to be able to discipline her before she got out of hand. She has 3 kids, each from a different father. She drinks every day, Maya, all the time. She's irresponsible, reckless. She ruined us. As we speak, she's serving 2 years in prison for drinking and driving and hitting a child. Because of the court cases, we had to sell our house to cover the legal fees, but she lost and is now serving time. Now, we're left looking for jobs just to support ourselves and take care of her kids, and one of them is autistic and uses a wheelchair. We lost our house, our savings, everything, because of her.
She's a failure, a total failure.
I laughed at them. The irony was too perfect. Their golden child, their real daughter, had dragged them into the dirt, left them begging in the streets. And me, the black girl they hated, the one they called useless, I was standing tall, my name on every tongue in the city, my restaurant a beacon of success. You deserve this, every single bit of it. You treated me like I was less than nothing. You chose her over me, and look where it got you, begging in my restaurant. My restaurant. Mrs. Wilson sobbed, her hands clutching her tattered coat.
Maya, we're sorry. We didn't know.
Sorry? You're sorry now because you're hungry? Because your precious Emily destroyed you? You weren't sorry when you kicked me out of your lives. You weren't sorry when I was starving, sleeping in alleys, fighting to survive. I could have been killed on the streets, but you didn't care. Get out. Mrs. Wilson reached for me with her trembling fingers.
Please, Maya, just some food. We know we offended you greatly, but we're sorry. Please, Maya, we're begging you.
No, you don't get to beg me. You don't get to stand in my world and ask for anything. Get out of my restaurant, and don't ever come back. If you do, I'll call the police. They stood there frozen, like they couldn't believe the girl they'd thrown away was now the one with power. Are both your ears not functioning anymore? I said, leave. Now. They turned away with their heads bowed in shame and walked away. Mr. Wilson stumbled and almost fell. They both looked so weak as they left, but I felt zero pity for them. They'd tried to break me, to erase me, but I'd won. I'd built a life they could never touch, a legacy they could never claim or benefit from. Emily was their punishment, their failure staring them in the face every day. And me? I was their regret and their shame. They'd spend the rest of their miserable lives wishing they never threw me out that night. After a few weeks, I hired someone to propose a fake job offer to Mr. Wilson and his family, an offer to move to a new state. The job came with a car, a house, and a high salary. It was too good to be true. But they stupidly believed it and used their remaining savings to book a one-way ticket to that town. Now, they're stuck there. To add salt to the injury, I anonymously shared their phone numbers online, listing Mr. Wilson as a plumber and Mrs. Wilson as an escort. I can only imagine the amount of calls they're getting now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
I was starving, but I refused to join them. Hunger sharpened my mind. I realized I could work honestly. I started odd jobs. I worked every odd job I could find. I delivered groceries, washed cars, mowed lawns, and even carried heavy boxes for people who didn't want to do it themselves. Every coin I earned, I tucked carefully under my bed in an old tin can. I imagined one day I could leave that house and never look back. Months passed. My hands were raw, my back ached, but I didn't care. Each dollar was a small victory against the family that hated me. I felt proud for the first time in my life. I finally thought I had enough to escape. Then one evening, I came home from a long day hauling furniture. I pulled back the floorboard, opened my tin can, and my heart sank. Empty. Not a single coin. In its place was a crumpled note.
Thanks for the savings, Daniel. Vacation time.
I froze. My mouth went dry. My hands shook. You stole it all? Relax, boy. Enjoy the lesson. Lesson. That's all it was to them. My sweat, my sacrifices, my first taste of independence, gone, like it never mattered. I walked out that night, leaving the house forever. My name is Daniel Miller, and I was born into a family that could make a thief look honest. If you met them, you'd think they were entertainers, because every crime came with a performance. My dad, Robert, my mom, Linda, and my brother Kyle spent their lives stealing, cheating, and lying, and I was the only one who refused to join. They called me a loser for it, but here's how I survived and got the last laugh. From the start, our home was a workshop of theft. Dad stole bikes and cars and brought them back to our garage, where we had engines stacked like bones and tires piled high like towers. Doors, hoods, transmissions, everything was dismantled and sold as parts. He could turn a new car into a dozen cashable items in a single week. I was the only one who didn't fit in. While they were proud of their skills, I liked books more than breaking locks. I dreamed of building things, not stealing them, and that made me the family disgrace. Hands are money, Danny. Books don't feed you. Work with your hands.
He's right, Daniel. Stop being soft. The world doesn't care about weak boys.
Come on, loser. Stop hiding behind those pencils. Steal like a man. My family also started a YouTube channel to sell a miracle cure they called Snake Oil Supreme. It was 100% fake, water mixed with herbs and oil. People paid hundreds for it. They even ran online scams, promising lottery wins and fake work-from-home jobs.
This miracle oil will change your life.
Buy it today. Don't miss out. I couldn't let them fool anyone else. I gathered evidence, videos, fake reviews, receipts, and leaked it to consumer protection agencies. I also posted the truth online. Snake Oil Supreme is a scam. Do not buy it. My parents are frauds. Their channel was banned. Thousands of angry buyers demanded refunds. Their online empire crumbled. That was one of my best revenge moves. They didn't just steal cars or sell fake snake oil. They ran a pickpocket operation in malls and supermarkets. Mom and Kyle were the distraction. Mom would drop groceries or fake a fainting spell. Kyle would scream for help. Meanwhile, Dad slid his hand into your pocket and took wallets, cash, watches, whatever he wanted. Distraction and steal, that's the game. Watch and learn, Danny boy. I'm not doing that. I won't touch anyone's pocket.
You'll learn, or you'll starve.
And starve I did. One night, Dad ordered me to steal our neighbor's radio. Go grab it. 2 minutes. Don't act weak. I won't steal. I'm not like you. Then you're useless. We'll see how hungry you get. For 3 days, I had nothing to eat. I was starving, but I refused to join them. Hunger sharpened my mind. I realized I could work honestly. I started odd jobs. I worked every odd job I could find. I delivered groceries, washed cars, mowed lawns, and even carried heavy boxes for people who didn't want to do it themselves. Every coin I earned, I tucked carefully under my bed in an old tin can. I imagined one day I could leave that house and never look back. Months passed. My hands were raw, my back ached, but I didn't care. Each dollar was a small victory against the family that hated me. I felt proud for the first time in my life. I finally thought I had enough to escape. Then one evening, I came home from a long day hauling furniture. I pulled back the floorboard, opened my tin can, and my heart sank. Empty. Not a single coin. In its place was a crumpled note.
Thanks for the savings, Daniel. Vacation time.
I froze. My mouth went dry. My hands shook. You stole it all? Relax, boy. Enjoy the lesson. Lesson. That's all it was to them. My sweat, my sacrifices, my first taste of independence, gone, like it never mattered. I walked out that night, leaving the house forever. I moved in with my friend Jacob, who didn't ask dramatic questions. He let me sleep on his couch, work in his small hardware store, and rebuild my life. For the first time, I felt safe. While I was learning to live honestly, my family went even deeper into crime. Kyle, my brother, got involved with a gang that loved high-stakes robberies. He started bragging about the big plans, thinking it made him look tough. This is it, Danny. Big money, big thrills. You should try it sometime. I don't want to end up in jail. Or dead. You're just scared. Cowards never get anywhere. I tried to warn him, but he didn't listen. One day, I heard the news. They had robbed a bank together. Shots were fired. Kyle didn't make it. He was dead before he turned 20. I can't believe this. He's gone. Don't blame yourself, Danny. Some people choose the wrong path. You chose better. better. But it still hurts. Pain is part of the price for growing up. Don't waste your life like them. After Kyle died, Dad got desperate, and he made the dumbest mistake of his life. He stole a car, but not just any car, an unmarked police car. They brought it back to the garage and dismantled it like they did with every other car. But cops traced it fast. You picked the wrong car, Robert Miller. I didn't know it was a police car. It was just a car. Tell that to the judge. The twist? The judge who sentenced him was Jacob's father, the same man whose son had given me a home when I had nowhere to go. Jacob had already told him everything about my story and my toxic parents. Robert Miller, you built a life by cheating and stealing. Today, you'll pay. Maximum sentence. Please, mercy? I didn't mean... You showed none. You get none. In prison, Dad got a taste of his own medicine. The man who once stole from innocent people, cheated, and terrorized others, was now the one being humiliated. Inmates mocked him, stole his food, and beat him whenever they wanted. Hey, Mr. Big Thief, want some lunch? Oh wait, that's mine now. Please, leave me alone. Funny, you never cared about anyone else. Meanwhile, Mom's life caught up with her too. Years of stress, lies, and toxic living wore her down. She became sick and was moved to a care home. She started writing me letters, filling them with apologies, regrets, and fake tears.
Daniel, I know I was wrong. I'm sorry for everything. I miss you and hope one day you forgive me.
I never answered. Not once. I realized some things are beyond repair, and forgiveness doesn't always mean reconnecting. Some people have to live with the consequences of their actions, and I wasn't going to relive their lies. Meanwhile, I built a real auto shop. Honest work, real receipts. I helped people fix cars instead of stealing them. I hired some of the neighbors who had been victims of my family. I called it Second Chance Auto. Years passed. I got a fiancée, Anna, who loved me for being honest.
I don't care about your family drama. I care about you.
I've had enough drama to last 10 lifetimes. So here I am, living a good life. My parents got the punishment they deserved. Dad was humiliated in prison. Mom is alone in a care home. Kyle, gone. And their last scam, the snake oil channel, is gone forever. I'm not a hero. I'm just a man who measured the damage and rebuilt something better. I got my revenge without risking my soul, without shooting anyone, and without stepping into the world they thrived in. I made my life honest, meaningful, and free. And that's my story. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Otherwise, I might just send you a free bottle of Snake Oil Supreme. Trust me, you don't want that. Wheels? That's a good one, right? We gotta keep him on his toes. Oh wait, my bad. He can't be on his toes. Damn, man, you're ruthless. I couldn't believe it. He wasn't just ignoring the harassment, he was joining in. Are you kidding me? Officer Jamal, you're supposed to be here to help. Help with what? Some light workplace banter? Looks to me like you're just looking for a reason to cry victim. Travis and Dean were grinning like they just won a prize. Man, Jace, you gotta lighten up. No wonder nobody likes working with you. This isn't banter. You've sabotaged my chair. You've made work hell for me. And yet you're still here. Sounds like you like playing the martyr. You're among those weak white men who are always crying to be helped. And yet you're still here. Sounds like you like playing the martyr. You're among those weak white men who are always crying to be helped. You should be glad to be associated with Travis and Dean. They're the few strong white men out there. I was shaking. I felt angry and helpless at how much he was humiliating me in front of my bullies. You know what, officer? Since you're here, maybe you should teach our boy Jace some survival skills, like how to stand up for himself. Nah, I think that ship sailed. Can't stand up if you never did to begin with. They all burst into laughter again. I felt so ashamed. I wanted to leave, but I refused to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. You're all pathetic. And yet, you're the one who came crying for help, weakling. I sat there and watched him exchange numbers with the guys, promising to see them around. Afterward, he left. The guys both mocked me and even pushed me off the chair before laughing and running off. Hi, my name is Jace, and this is my unfortunate encounter with a black cop. I rolled into the police station one day, my hands gripping the wheels of my chair tighter than usual. I hated going there. It wasn't the first time I'd had to report something, but it was the first time it had gotten this bad. The bullying at work had escalated. What started as whispers behind my back had turned into stolen files, coffee accidentally spilled on my lap, and even a few of my wheelchair's screws mysteriously loosening. I knew it wasn't all in my head. I needed to report it before things got worse. I reached the front desk at the station and cleared my throat. The officer behind it barely looked up. "Hi, I need to report workplace harassment." "Take a seat." I felt even more frustrated because, clearly, he hadn't even looked at me. I'm already sitting. That got his attention. His eyes flicked up, scanning my chair before he laughed as if I'd cracked a joke. "Right, give me a second." He disappeared into the back, leaving me alone in the waiting area. My patience was running thin. I wasn't asking for special treatment, I just wanted to be taken seriously. A few minutes later, a tall officer walked out. He was different from the other officer, and his badge read Jamal Carter. He looked around the place before finally looking at me, as if he couldn't believe I needed help. "You the one making the complaint?" "Yes, that's me." Jamal crossed his arms, staring at me like I was wasting his time. "All right, what's the problem?" "It's about my coworkers. They've been harassing me at work, and it's becoming unbearable." "Harassing, or just joking around?" "Harassing." Joking around doesn't involve sabotaging my wheelchair. "Are you sure it wasn't just an accident? Maybe you're being a little sensitive?" "No, I'm not being sensitive. Someone loosened the screws on my chair. I almost fell." "But you didn't. Why are you being unnecessarily dramatic?" I was so shocked. I couldn't believe I'd heard him correctly. How could he suggest me being dramatic? "Are you serious?" "Listen, man, work environments can be tough. You gotta have thick skin. Maybe they're just treating you like everyone else." "By sabotaging my chair?" "No, by not babying you." I couldn't believe he was implying that I was expecting special treatment. "I don't need to be babied. I need to be safe at my job." "And did anyone physically touch you?" "No, but..." "Then it's not a crime. You're being dramatic." He smirked, like he'd just won some argument. I knew I had no other choice. As much as I hated the way Officer Jamal was treating me, I thought he was still my best shot at getting this taken seriously. If I could just get him to see it firsthand, maybe he'd stop dismissing me. "Come with me to my workplace and see it for yourself." "You want me to waste my time following you to your office? For what?" "Because if you actually see what they're doing, maybe you'll realize this isn't just in my head." Jamal sighed, rubbing his jaw as if debating whether it was worth his time. Then, with an exaggerated groan, he nodded. "Fine, let's go. But if I don't see anything serious, we're done here." I didn't respond. I just turned my chair toward the exit, pushing forward with determination. This was my chance. Thankfully, my workplace wasn't far from the station, so we walked there. But Officer Jamal refused to walk beside me. He crossed to the other side of the street, pretending we weren't together. I didn't mind. My main focus was to make him see I wasn't being dramatic. When we finally reached my workplace, he looked shocked. "Wow, I didn't expect a guy like you to be working somewhere this nice." "A guy like me?" "You know what I mean. How many of your fellow handicaps do you see working in such a big company?" I was offended, but I didn't respond to him. As we entered the building, I immediately spotted Travis and Dean, my two coworkers and the main source of my misery. They were standing by the break room, laughing about something, but the moment they saw me, their smirks widened. Well, look who decided to roll in. Did you get lost on the way to the pity parade?" I forced myself to stay calm, because that was my only chance to prove what was happening to Officer Jamal. "Officer Jamal is here to investigate workplace harassment." "Harassment, huh? You two picking on the little guy?" Travis and Dean burst into laughter as if someone told a joke. "Us? Picking on Jace?" "Nah, man, we're just keeping things light. He's part of the team. Yeah, we treat him just like anyone else. Ain't that right, Wheels?" When they called me by that silly nickname again, I turned to Jamal, expecting him to at least say something. Instead, he was smiling. "Wheels? That's a good one. Right? We gotta keep him on his toes." "Oh wait, my bad. He can't be on his toes." Damn, man, you're ruthless. I couldn't believe it. He wasn't just ignoring the harassment, he was joining in. Are you kidding me? Officer Jamal, you're supposed to be here to help. Help with what? Some light workplace banter? Looks to me like you're just looking for a reason to cry victim. Travis and Dean were grinning like they just won a prize. Man, Jace, you gotta lighten up. No wonder nobody likes working with you. This isn't banter. You've sabotaged my chair. You've made work hell for me. And yet you're still here. Sounds like you like playing the martyr. You're among those weak white men who are always crying to be helped. You should be glad to be associated with Travis and Dean. They're the few strong white men out there. I was shaking. I felt angry and helpless at how much he was humiliating me in front of my bullies. You know what, officer? Since you're here, maybe you should teach our boy Jace some survival skills, like how to stand up for himself. Nah, I think that ship sailed. Can't stand up if you never did to begin with. They all burst into laughter again. I felt so ashamed. I wanted to leave, but I refused to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. You're all pathetic. And yet, you're the one who came crying for help, weakling. I sat there and watched him exchange numbers with the guys, promising to see them around. Afterward, he left. The guys both mocked me and even pushed me off the chair before laughing and running off. Days turned into weeks, and almost every day, Officer Jamal made a point to show up at my workplace. He wasn't there to check on any cases. He was there to join Travis and Dean in their torment. It became a routine. They'd stand around my desk, making offhand remarks loud enough for others to hear, but low enough to maintain some plausible deniability. Must be nice, getting that special treatment, huh, Jace? Rolling around while the rest of us actually work. Yeah, man. You think they let you stay just so they don't look bad for kicking out the office mascot? Y'all are too much. But hey, gotta admit, he does add some diversity to the team. I refused to react. I knew what they wanted. They wanted to see me break, to lash out, to give them a reason to turn things around on me. But the worst part wasn't even their words. It was the way Jamal treated Travis and Dean like his closest friends. He was being racist to me for being white, but wasn't the same to Travis and Dean. You boys let me know if Wheels here gives you any trouble, all right? Can't have him thinking he runs this place. They laughed like it was the funniest thing in the world. Every day, the humiliation piled on. Every day, I endured it. Until one day, everything changed. My boss called me into his office. I wondered if something else had gone wrong, if I was about to get blamed for something, or if Travis and Dean had told him something that would lead to me losing my job. However, the reverse was the case. One of the interns came to me yesterday. He told me about everything. He knows what has been happening, the way those men have been treating you, the officer too. Oh no. I'm so sorry, sir. I can't stop them because it might lead to a fight or worse. You don't have to explain or apologize. You don't have to defend yourself. I should have seen it sooner, and I'm sorry. I had spent so long thinking no one noticed, or worse, that no one cared. I felt so touched. I will handle this, trust me. The next day, everything came crashing down. 2 uniformed officers, both white, walked into the office. The room went silent. Travis and Dean looked up, confused but unconcerned, until the officers walked straight toward them. Travis Miller, Dean Coleman, you're both under arrest. For what? What the hell is this? You can't just arrest us. Yes, we can, and we are doing that now. Let's go. They were handcuffed right there in front of everyone. My boss stood beside me with his arms crossed, watching everything unfold. Can I come with you, sir? Of course, this is about you. We arrived at the station, where I was met with an even bigger surprise. Jamal was there too, and he was in cuffs. His usual stupid smirk was gone. Officer Carter. Wow, how the mighty have fallen. I didn't expect to see you here. This is some bullshit. You really think you can take me down? I'm a cop. Not anymore. You were a cop who bullied a citizen in need of your help. Shame on you. I filed my case against all 3 of them, and this time, it wasn't just my word against theirs. 2 witnesses from my office stepped forward. They had seen everything, and they spoke up. And then there was the security footage. The cameras had caught it all, including the audio. They were done for when the case was scheduled for hearing. The 3 of them desperately tried to stop me from pursuing it, but I refused. They needed to pay for torturing me. At the court, all 3 were found guilty. Officer Jamal was insulted by the judge for being the opposite of what his uniform and title stood for. He was completely stripped off power and got an extra 1-year imprisonment to the 5 years each of them were given. On their way to jail, the car they were in was involved in a fatal accident. The driver and the officer in the car sustained just little injuries, but Travis, Dean, and Officer Jamal, who were at the back of the car, all suffered spine injuries. After 6 months of receiving treatment, they ended up in wheelchairs. When I heard how karma had repaid them for their evil deeds, I felt happy and grateful to the universe. They got what they deserved. I later heard that the 3 of them are now called wheelchair boys and are constantly mocked by other inmates. The funny part is that no one cares when they complain, and people openly make fun of them. Since they're disabled, they can barely defend themselves. I even heard that Jamal was once pushed down a flight of stairs, and the inmate who did it just shrugged it off as a mistake. The worst part? The 3 of them were forced to race for the entertainment of other inmates. I still plan on visiting them. What do you think I should say? Comment below.
I thought I'd seen the worst of him, until the night he killed Marcus. Marcus was a young black man, barely 22. Came in with chest pain. His mother rushed him in, panicking, tears running down her cheeks.
Please, please, my son can't breathe. He needs help.
Pierce barely glanced at him.
Young guy like that? Probably drugs, or maybe just looking for attention. Either way, I'm not wasting resources.
I couldn't believe it. Marcus was pale, sweating, gasping for air. I shouted, "Doctor, he needs an EKG now! He could be in cardiac arrest!"
Shut your mouth, nurse. I decide who gets treated here.
Minutes later, Marcus went limp. His mother screamed his name. I tried CPR, begged Pierce to help, but he just folded his arms.
Some lives just aren't worth saving.
That sentence still echoes in my head at night. Marcus died right there, in front of us. His mother's screams sounded like something breaking in the universe. She fell to her knees beside her son's body, tears streaming down her face. Then she turned and looked at Pierce. Her voice was low, almost a whisper. I've been a nurse for 12 years. I've seen my share of tragedy, but nothing prepared me for the cruelty of Dr. Harold Pierce. People say time makes you numb to suffering in hospitals. Maybe that's true. But what makes you burn inside isn't the suffering you can't stop. It's the suffering that someone chooses to cause. Dr. Pierce wasn't just cruel. He was evil, and he didn't even hide it. I'll never forget one of my first shifts under him. We were in the ER, and a Mexican construction worker had come in after a nasty fall. His leg was twisted in a way no leg should be. He was moaning, half-conscious.
Another one of these illegals? Probably doesn't even have insurance. Why waste morphine on him? Let him feel it. Maybe it'll teach him to go back where he belongs.
I froze. My face felt hot with rage, but I was just a nurse. If I spoke out too loudly, I could lose my job. So I did what I could. I slipped the man pain medication when the doctor turned his back. But that was the first moment I realized just how rotten Pierce really was. And that wasn't even the worst. He had this habit of mocking black patients outright. Once, an elderly black woman came in with pneumonia. She was terrified, clutching her chest, barely able to breathe.
Oh, here we go again. Always sick, always whining. What is it with you people and your weak lungs? Too much fried chicken, maybe.
I could see the woman's face crumple. She wanted to respond, but didn't have the strength. I adjusted her oxygen mask and whispered to her, "I'll take care of you, ma'am." She squeezed my hand like she was drowning, and I was her only lifeline. Sometimes, he didn't stop with black patients. He mocked poor white ones too. A coal miner once came in coughing up black dust, his lungs nearly destroyed.
Well, well. Looks like West Virginia's finest. What'd you think would happen? Chewing coal for breakfast? You people breed stupidity like rabbits.
The miner's daughter cried quietly in the corner. I felt sick. Another time he ridiculed a young black teenager with asthma. The boy wheezed and tried to explain he'd run out of inhalers. Pierce leaned back in his chair and said,
Asthma? No, you're just lazy. Bet you sit around playing video games all day shoving chips in your mouth. You don't need an inhaler, you need a treadmill.
The boy's mother shouted.
You bastard! He could die!
Pierce just walked away like it was beneath him. I even tried reporting him once. I sent an anonymous email to the hospital board detailing all the racist remarks, the neglect, the cruelty. A week later, I got a reply. Dr. Pierce has been with us for many years and is regarded as a good man who does his job well. We thank you for your concern. That single line crushed me. It meant nobody cared. Not the hospital, not the system. Pierce was protected, untouchable. Or so he thought. I thought I'd seen the worst of him, until the night he killed Marcus. Marcus was a young black man, barely 22. Came in with chest pain. His mother rushed him in, panicking, tears running down her cheeks.
Please, please, my son can't breathe. He needs help.
Pierce barely glanced at him.
Young guy like that? Probably drugs, or maybe just looking for attention. Either way, I'm not wasting resources.
I couldn't believe it. Marcus was pale, sweating, gasping for air. I shouted, "Doctor, he needs an EKG now! He could be in cardiac arrest!"
Shut your mouth, nurse. I decide who gets treated here.
Minutes later, Marcus went limp. His mother screamed his name. I tried CPR, begged Pierce to help, but he just folded his arms.
Some lives just aren't worth saving.
That sentence still echoes in my head at night. Marcus died right there, in front of us. His mother's screams sounded like something breaking in the universe. She fell to her knees beside her son's body, tears streaming down her face. Then she turned and looked at Pierce. Her voice was low, almost a whisper, but it carried a weight that made the hairs on my arms stand up.
You will pay for this. You took my only son. You looked at his skin and decided his life wasn't worth saving. I curse you, Harold Pierce. Every cruel word you spoke, every life you played with, it will come back to you. You'll lose your mind, your pride, your place, and you'll know what it feels like to be powerless.
Her words seemed to thrum in the air like electricity. At first, nothing happened. Pierce scoffed.
Spare me the voodoo nonsense. If cursing worked, I'd have been dead a long time ago.
But he shouldn't have laughed, because within days, things started happening. The first time, I thought I was dreaming. We were in the OR, halfway through a gallbladder surgery. Suddenly, Pierce froze. His scalpel hovered midair. Then, without warning, he started humming, loudly, tunelessly, like some drunken uncle at karaoke.
Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba.
The anesthesiologist and I exchanged horrified looks. "Doctor, focus! The patient's open!" He blinked, confused, then went back to cutting, as if nothing had happened. But I swear, his hands trembled. The incidents piled up. One night after his shift, he couldn't find his car. Security found him 2 blocks away, knocking on a stranger's door at midnight.
What the hell are you doing at my house? Isn't this my home? I live here.
It wasn't. His real house was across town. His wife stormed into the hospital one day, red-faced and furious.
What's wrong with you, Harold? You looked at me this morning like I was a stranger. You asked me, "Excuse me, ma'am, what are you doing in my kitchen?"
Word spread fast. Nurses whispered. Patients started refusing him. One afternoon, during a consultation, a black father brought in his sick child. Pierce tried to give his usual spiel.
Figures, always something wrong. What do you people feed your kids? Fast food and Kool-Aid?
But before he could finish, his tongue twisted. He literally couldn't form words. His mouth moved, but only gibberish came out.
What's the matter, Doc? Can't find the words? Funny how that feels, huh?
Pierce stormed out, but his face was pale. He knew something was happening. The curse was eating him alive. Within weeks, he was forgetting procedures, names, even how to sign his own prescriptions. Once, in the middle of rounds, he suddenly broke into a full dance routine. Hip thrusts, jazz hands, the works. The patients laughed so hard I thought someone would choke.
Look at him go! Is this a hospital or a nightclub?
The hospital board finally had enough. He was fired, stripped of his license. His wife left him. But the final twist, the real poetic justice, came when they put him in a care home. Guess who staffed that home? Almost entirely black nurses, aides, and immigrant workers. The very people he had mocked, belittled, and humiliated for years. I visited once out of morbid curiosity. I saw him sitting there, drooling slightly, looking lost. He called out to a nurse.
Nurse, please, help me to the bathroom.
The nurse, a tall Nigerian man, smiled politely but with a gleam in his eye.
Of course, sir. We take good care of everyone here, even men who once thought our lives weren't worth saving.
Pierce lowered his eyes. For the first time, I saw shame flicker across his face. He lived out his days like that, helpless, humiliated, cared for by the very people he despised. And me? I still think about Marcus. His mother never came back to the hospital. But sometimes late at night, I swear I can hear her whisper in my head, "Justice always finds its way." So yeah, doctor, Harold Pierce got what was coming to him. Call it karma, call it a curse. All I know is, some evil you just can't bury. It crawls back up and drags the guilty down with it. And if you don't believe me, well, try being a racist doctor and see what happens. Anyway, that's my story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and maybe drop a comment saying what curse you'd use if someone messed with you. Because honestly, after what I saw, I'm never doubting curses again.